It says lay brick, block, and stone. Stucco. Stucco. That's what the S is for. Stucco. What's up, bud? What are you gonna name him, Benny?
I don't know.
Hosea?
Hosea? Probably not.
He's giving the peace sign, bro. Just threw the derby. I just threw it. Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, April. Oh my gosh, it's not April. It's May 1st. May 1st, 2023. I'm really happy with this job site right now because it absolutely poured over the weekend and everything looks mint. Just another great reason to be using open grade base when you build. I talk about it a lot on my channel. Benny, good morning, bro.
Morning.
How you living?
Living good. How are you?
Good. Did it pour at your house yesterday?
Oh yeah, it did. All night.
Yeah, dude. It was wet last night.
Still wet this morning.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Cool.
Telling you, it's open grade base. If you had used dense grade on something like this over the weekend, it would just be an absolute mud fest here. You might not even be able to work. We're gonna shift our focus. We're gonna shift our focus on building the steps, the inner block work of our steps, and then we'll be applying our stone veneer panels. If you guys been watching the channel for a while, you've seen a few jobs that I use this on. Benny,
Yo.
plant pop quiz.
Plant pop quiz?
Yeah, because this is something that I've talked to you about a lot of times in my life.
What's that?
But it's been a few years since we talked about it. What kind of plants are those pink shrubs?
Those pink shrubs right there. They look like could be azaleas.
That's not a bad guess. They're somewhat in the same family.
PJMs?
Oh, wow, dude. Ding, ding. Man, should have put a wager on or something like that. I didn't think you were going to get it, bro. PJM rhododendrons. It's like
Smaller.
yeah, it's a smaller leaf, smaller flower, but it's the exact same thing as a rhododendron. Way to go, dude. I'm proud of you, man.
Hey, what's that? That's my question.
What's what?
That freaking thing growing out of the ground right there.
What, the bird? Hey, man. Awesome job, dude.
Thanks, dude. Pop quiz.
Proud of him. Get myself set up and squared up so I can start laying these blocks. Ben just brought up a good point. This mortar pan was empty on Friday. Nothing in it. That is a lot of water. It poured. And the job site is money. Alright, so now that we got that left side all squared off with the foundation, all we have to do is measure and then trace out our lines. That's really all you got to do to get square on something small like this. You get a nice straight edge up against the foundation, which is the level in my case, and then use another straight edge, which is another level. So okay, so our stone veneer kind of varies from like 1.5 inches down to 1 1/4. Really thin is 1 1/4, but like 1.5, 3/4 is the veneer. Plus a 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch of mortar behind that is gonna equal out to like 1 3/4 to 2 inches. So I'm gonna factor 2 inches for the veneer, and then we need a 1 inch overhang on the caps. So we're looking at 3 inches total that we need to go inside of these lines. So that line that I traced out is for the overhang of the cap. So now we got to minus out the stone veneer and the overhang of the cap, so we can find out the front of our blocks. Okay, so we have 1 inch for the overhang, and then 2 inches for the stone veneer. Okay, so this front stoop is going to consist of one step and then a top landing, so 2 steps total. The top landing is going to be 4 feet from the kickboard to the front, and that 4 feet includes the overhang from the granite. So we got to minus an inch from that, and we also have to minus 2 inches for the stone veneer and mortar, and that brings us to the front of the top landing. And then we have to measure off of that to the front step, and that we want to be 11 inches so that we can still have that 1 inch of overhang when we put the cap on it. We were trying to match the width of our steps to the width of the front entry, so it's a little bit less than 6 feet, which means we're going to have to buy 6-foot granite treads for the capstones, and we're going to have to cut them to the correct size and rock face them ourselves. So there'll be a little bit of customizing, but that happens pretty often when you go into building custom stone veneer steps. Hey Benny, I like your necklace, bro.
Thanks. Keeps the bugs out of my beard.
There's a lot of mayflies around today from all that rain. You ready to make some mortar, dude?
Ready.
Just a regular type-S mortar.
All set.
So there it is. You guys saw the measurements and the slopes. And now when we put the mortar underneath and set the blocks, we just got to keep that slope and keep those measurements. And I get questions here and there about why I don't leave a joint in the middle of the blocks when I do this, and it's just simply because it's not necessary. The joint is a lot of extra work. It's mortar that you don't really need to use, and if you ever look at a building that's made out of cinder blocks and it fails, a lot of times it's the joints popping out. So with an application like this where it's not going to be the actual exterior of the project, they can be fit right next to each other, because then the mortar that goes behind the stone veneer is going to seal up those really thin joints. If you were to build a building with that, you couldn't fill anything into that joint, so the water would get in and seep in through it. The reason why they keep the joints on an exterior building is because the joint can be filled with type-S mortar like we're using, which seals the joint, so water would just run down the front of the block instead of actually getting through the gap. But again, with an application like this, it's going to be sealed up by the stone veneer mortar. It's going to be sealed up by the mortar on the top for the granite caps, so we can just fit them right next to each other and not have any issues. You know what it says on the bag, Ben?
Do I know what it says on the bag for what? Like how much water per, what's a good batch?
No, it says lay brick, block, and stone. Stucco. Stucco. That's what the S is for. Stucco. Type stucco.
Type stucco mortar.
What kind of mortar are you using? Type stucco mortar. What'd you say? Type stucco mortar. There's our starting point. First row of blocks in, Benny.
Looks good.
Thanks, dude.
Looks level. Looks square.
Appreciate it. Looks everything, dude. I appreciate that. So we lay the entire bed of mortar, even where the cores are, so that it kind of goes up and in, and it locks the entire first row in nice and tight. We're not going to be putting concrete in these blocks. We're just going to be core filling with this 3/4 inch stone, and we're ready for it. On the inside of the big landing, you can see, put some mortar around all the edges to lock everything in, give it a little bit more strength. And then we sealed up the backs of the blocks over here. So this joint line on the bottom, you want to make sure it's cut straight up and down, or else when you go to put the veneer on, you're going to have some issues. We are level side to side, very, very close. And we've got our 1/8 of a slope going forward. So this entire layer is good for a 3/4 inch stone. Then we compact it and put geogrid, Benny. So sometimes people core fill these cinder blocks with concrete and put rebar in the corners to make sure everything's nice and strong, which if you're building a staircase of 4 or more steps, I would definitely recommend at least core filling the first few rows of steps with concrete to make them nice and solid. But on a small 2-step staircase like this, it's just not necessary. The mortar will hold everything together, and that layer of geogrid is going to give a lot of additional support too and make sure it doesn't fall apart. Benny, you got a friend over here, dude?
I guess so. Oh, he's moving.
Dude, is that an albino frog?
I don't know, dude.
Just jumps at the camera, dude. Make one of those videos, you know, you have to focus and then... What's up, bud? What are you going to name him, Benny?
I don't know.
Hosea?
Hosea? Probably not.
He's giving the peace sign, bro.
He's giving the peace sign?
Yo, he's giving the peace sign. That's going to be the outro.
Let me see.
When I say peace, it's going to be that frog's fingers, dude. Alright, man. Be good. Don't get into any trouble over here. We'll just be working. Good morning, everyone. We got some mortar. Today is May 3rd, 2023. We got some half-piece, corner-piece veneer. A couple extra blocks in case we need them. We got our stair treads, blue mist granite. It's just a type-ass mortar made by Quikrete. If you go to Home Depot, these are a little less than $10 a bag here in my area. I think it's like $9.68 or something. Got 4 80-pound bags, so 320 pounds in there. I love these Jackson wheelbarrows. There's really none like them. I've had this one right here for 5 years. 5 years I've had this wheelbarrow. A few missing bolts. I got like a missing leg on that thing over there. Like this right here. This is an extra piece. You know, it's one of those things where it's just such a small thing to go fix it, but it just never gets done because it still works enough to keep moving. And they're just super durable. Hey, bud.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Jackson wheelbarrows? I keep saying barrows. It's barrows. It's kind of my accent, though.
I mean, for what it's worth, it's just the simplest thing you can get.
I was saying that's 320 pounds in that wheelbarrow, dude, and it's going to be fine.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You know? Definitely the way to go. I love the Jackson wheelbarrows. Barrows. In case you didn't know, they're not wheelbarrows. They're wheelbarrows. Quite a few years into my career, way back in the day, that I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting here like, I mean, wheelbarrow makes way more sense. It's a barrel on a wheel.
Yep.
The hell is a barrow? I'm gonna get a bunch of comments. What, you don't know what a barrow is? Mm-hmm. Hey, if it doesn't really impact my life, I don't look it up. The Jackson Wheelbarrow. Make like a Dude, just make a Jackson like highlight video, dude, just for free for them. Just like, dude, yeah, dude, just do like a 3-minute video of just crazy like scenes
Spinning
of
a wheelbarrow around.
You know how like they load the trucks up with stone for like the advertisements? This truck can take 2 yards. Stone. Dude, imagine doing that at the wheelbarrow.
Just getting dumped in there.
That's what I'm gonna do, bro. I'm gonna go. The dust just goes everywhere.
Yep.
I'm gonna do that, bro. I'm gonna get some of the best clips of us dumping stuff in these wheelbarrows and just make a Jackson freaking shout out. Dude, if Jackson could get me some of my own wheelbarrows, dude, and tell him that it needs to be called the wheelbarrow, right? Like, hey, what's this model? It's called the wheelbarrow. All right, I got some mortar down here. Ben's bringing the veneer. Look at the double, dude. Jackson Professional Tools. So now we're gonna finish dry laying out the second row. I like to do that, it just makes it easier for me, especially when I go to apply the blocks with mortar. Everything's right where it needs to be, all the cuts are done, and I can just focus on applying the blocks. But I wanted to mention also this GeoGrid, like I've mentioned in a lot of videos actually, it's just such a helpful thing to add to a project like this, and the cost of it is basically nothing in this small of an application. So I like to do that. I like to add GeoGrid whenever I can, and it's really going to help these blocks stay in place, help keep the caps in place when you do steps. In this situation I'm only doing one step, but if you had 3 or 4 steps, that GeoGrid's really going to help lock those treads in place. Okay, that's actually the cut from over there, but now that I know it fits, I can just kind of trace it. A little goofy, it works. I'm gonna get all that dust off of it once you saw cut it. That dust can kind of affect the bond. You don't want to affect the bond, Ben. Cool, that fits. And that fits. That whole row is ready to be mortared in. Hope you guys are enjoying the video. Just want to take a minute and again say thank you for all the support from all the regular viewers. Every time I upload a video, you guys are watching, and I really couldn't be more grateful. It's been an amazing spring. I can't believe I'm at 30,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and my business is doing well. I'm getting a lot of jobs estimated and sold. I'm pretty much booked up into the fall this year. That's why I've been so busy and not able to upload these videos. So I appreciate the patience and again the support. And I'm going to try to keep these videos coming. Also, on a side note, the machine that I purchased is finally getting delivered in the next day or two. So I can't wait to make the video on that and show you guys what I bought. Good morning, everyone. Another damp spring morning, Ben.
Yep.
May 4th, 2022.
3.
Wow. Cut. 2023. So we got that second row of block on yesterday, and in a separate video we got a bunch of stepping stones laid. Those are all mortared in, and some may say those ain't going anywhere.
They're not moving unless you really want them to.
It's a nice little path. And then all of this is going to get filled in with mulch. I'm going to mulch in between all the stepping stones right up to the edge. But the first thing we got to do this morning is core fill the block and then get ourselves ready to pour a concrete pad on the top of these steps. That concrete pad is just going to go flush with the top of our blocks, and that's going to help us adhere our pattern stock. This is called pattern stock. We'll be able to adhere it down to the concrete pad that we pour. So that's what we're going to do. We need some 3/4 inch stone in there first, and then we can get ourselves ready to pour some concrete. Here we go, ready to pour the pad. That's about 3.5 inches, a little bit less than 3.5 inches all around. We're gonna pour this inner part, and we're gonna put a couple pieces of rebar in it. And then we got 6 bags of concrete here. If we have enough to fill in all the blocks as well, that's what we're gonna do. But we gotta at least get the middle of that done. That way the top caps have something nice to adhere to. That's the kind of concrete you're using, huh?
Quickcrete. Gravel mix.
Dude, tell me not. Those fit perfect.
Yeah, no adjustments.
Nothing, dude. It's from the old steps. That's why you gotta reuse. Yeah, that's what they say, Ben. That's what they say. I just threw the derby. I just threw it. I blew it. Jeez. I was about to show these guys the derby again, and look at what I get.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Throw it at?
I threw it right into the concrete. Like, yeah, spread yourself. So I've gotten a few comments on another set of steps that I did previously. It was 3 steps, not just 2. And we just core filled the block and put our granite steps right down on it with the 3/4. And a lot of people say you need to really core fill these blocks with concrete, which I'm not going to completely argue with you on that. But just like our patios and walkways, the reason we use 3/4 inch stone as often as we can is to give an area for the moisture to escape into. If everything is concreted and solid, if any water gets in between bonds of concrete, that's when things pop, because when the water freezes, it has nowhere to expand and contract into. If there's water in between those surfaces and it freezes, it pops it. So when you have a hard surface mortar and then under the mortar is 3/4 inch stone, that water is going to have a place to escape into. If you were to build a staircase like this with 4 or more steps, you need to core fill the bottom 1 or 2 rows at least with concrete so that it's a solid footing. That's a different thing. That's like a structural kind of strength thing that you need to worry about. But when you have 2, 3 blocks high, even 4, just core filling the block with 3/4 inch stone is perfectly fine. And then when you get to the top, you're putting a 3-inch layer of concrete inside and also core fill the concrete blocks with some concrete about 3 inches. And then that will allow you to adhere all of your landing on nice and tight. So none of this concrete is going to have a risk of heaving and popping up. It's just not going to, because of all the area for the moisture to escape underneath it. That's why we core fill with 3/4 inch stone. We left that channel up against the house, open stone, just for any water to kind of travel through if it had to. And it also gives the house and that piece of wood some breathing room. If that wood shifts a little bit, it's going to push the stone, not the concrete or the block. So now that that pad is poured, we're on to stone veneer and granite caps. But that's a separate video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, till the next one, God bless. Peace.